We almost see no titties in movies anymore, and we only see dicks. Hey, anybody notice this? Yes, I love titties. Big old titties.
All right, boys, we're here today with the great Phil Labonte from All That Remains. Bro, I'm so excited.
Hello, how are you?
Dude, I'm good. I'm
glad. I'm
when
glad.
When you messaged me the other day, I was like, what the hell? Is this like an imposter? What's going on? Oh my God. Because, like I was talking to my buddy Derek Kuda, and I've been rocking out to All That Remains for forever.
That rules.
Dude, yeah. So I would learn. I've been playing guitar since I was like 12.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that, I remember learning some System of a Down stuff, and it was super easy, and then I learned, I started learning a little bit of Trivium stuff from Ascendancy, and then I found All That Remains, and it was The Air That I Breathe, of course, 6.
Yeah.
And probably, name one, Derek Kuda, in the chat. I know you got one. There's so many songs off that album that I was freaking jamming to. Weak Willed. Oh, that song's awesome. Oh God, yeah. So there's a lot of great songs, man. A lot of great songs.
Man.
So I appreciate you crafting that album with your boys and forging my childhood. I had a girl one time I was dating, and I was like, "You got to listen to this new album." Fucking 2 weeks, bro. Like, and she's just looking at me like this, and it's like, I'm like, dude,
what is this?
He's like, yeah, I don't know. I kind of listen to rap, and I'm like, get out of my car.
Hold on, let me speed up first, and then you shove her out.
Yeah, dude. It's
got to be at least like 45 miles an hour if you're gonna kick someone out of the car.
What got you started, man? Because I've look, my dream, my entire life was to like race NASCAR, which is really silly. I get it, but B was to like write music and tour, and B never happened. Even though
not yet. I mean, you've been playing since you're 12. You still play guitar. You never know,
dude. I go hard, but it's like. Now, since YouTube happened, like, well, how the hell am I gonna do this? Like, I got to maintain this and then all that.
Yeah.
So, like, how did it start for you?
I mean, I've been in bands since I was a teenager, and so, like, I got a guitar when I was like 14, and so I started playing. And there was a bunch of dudes in bands that were going to the same high school as me, and so it was like, all right, so trying to find some people to play with. And I went to this concert that was local bands, and there was this death metal band called Perpetual Doom. And one of the guitar players is this kid named Ken, who I'm still friends with. He's still a wonderful dude. And he was on stage playing in a band, on stage. And I'm like, I walked through the halls in Chicopee Comprehensive High School with that kid. I want to do that. If he can do that, I can do it. And so then I just started practicing a lot, and just so happens that band needed a guitar player. So I joined that band and played a couple shows with them. And then, but because it was death metal and it was like such heavy stuff, and this is in the 90s.
Yeah.
I didn't think that I was going to be like a professional musician, right? Like I thought that I was going to do something else. And then I just play in bands on the weekends.
Yeah.
Play in bands, do a couple nights a week practicing, hanging out with the bros, drink a couple beers, go home and do my thing and work a normal job. And as the 90s, as the end of the 90s and early part of 2000s started happening, like bands in our area started doing stuff. Like Shadows Fall was going on. I was in Shadows Fall for a little while, and we started getting some stuff going on. And there's a band called Overcast that had some stuff going on in the 90s. And then Killswitch Engage started to get some stuff going on. And I was like, maybe we can actually do this. And so it's just like I never really stopped doing it. I worked a regular job and just kept playing in bands and kind of, just seeing how far I could end up getting it to go. And the only time that I was ever like there's only like one time where I was like real close to quitting, and that was right before we did the Fall of Ideals. We put This Darkened Heart out, I'm sorry, no, it was right after Darkened, this Darkened Heart had come out. We'd written the songs, we'd been playing some stuff from Darkened, and like we weren't getting any traction because we're just starting out. And I was like, man, is it really worth it? It's like such a pain in the ass, and you're playing these bad shows and blah blah blah. Because that's what you do. You spend years playing for nobody.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Like we would go on whole tours and come back, and nobody, the whole tour had like. I know that we have done at least one tour that the whole month-long tour had a lower attendance than like our big shows now, like you go out for a month and you play to less than 1,000 people the whole month that you're out there, or less than 2,000 people. You're like, man. So, there was some times where there was a time where I was almost out, but I stuck it out, and then we ended up putting out the Fall of Ideals, and after that, it's just like, look out,
Yeah, it was on Guitar Hero too, right?
They told us, they're like, yo, we're gonna put a song in a video game, and I was like, we made it, guys. Yeah, that's it. We done. We did it, man.
Yeah,
we're and I was like, what song? And they're like, I figured it was gonna be This Calling, because that was the single, and they're like, we're gonna put the song 6 on there. I was like, the song that starts out with blast beats, screams, and fast rip guitar, if that's going to be on the video game. They're like, yes. I'm like, I don't care. I just want to be in a video game. That's a great idea, right? And just so happens that on Guitar Hero 2, like the only song that was harder to play on Expert was the Dragon Force song.
Oh yeah, and there was that one goofy song by Buckethead Jordan that was brutal.
Okay, so those were like the top 3 songs,
and 6 was like the main, because the other songs were bonus songs. I'm pretty sure 6 was in the actual just normal game.
I know it was on the game. I don't know about the other ones, but
dude, it was brutal.
And dude, fucking kids just drilled it into their heads, because they want to master it. So like, because you want to win the game too, right? Like you want to play the song, but you also want to win the game. So kids just sit there practicing, and just drilled it into their heads. And now, almost 20 years later, people still come up, man, when I was a kid, 6, man, and I'm like, thank you so much. So
yeah, dude. And
awesome.
I was playing it last night on guitar, right? Because I had just got home finally from the race, and I was real hungover, so I have a music studio in my like base floor of my house, and I was like, I'm gonna relearn 6 since I have Phil coming on. And it's just brutal. And I'm like, hard. It starts with like that. It's like that C bar chord. It's like bam, but it is brutal. And then I get to like the solo section that's like clean, and I'm like, oh, this is great. And then the solo is just
nice.
Ollie's a monster. And I kind of formed my vibrato technique to like match Ollie's, because I love this weird slow like vibrato thing he did, where everybody else like he's always jiggling the hell out of it. He does that like slow thing. I loved it. Love that shit. Yeah, he's a beast.
His hand, the way he would bend, and he spent a lot of time working on his bends and making sure that he could express the notes the way that he wanted to. So,
and dude, like that was like he was my hero. So like, I was big on Matt Hafey and that Corey, whatever the hell his last name is, blah hula, and I was big on those guys. And then, of course, Found All That Remains. And I was like, dude, this Ollie dude's a monster. Like every single run is just, I'm like, how this sounds like, because there's guys that have, they're good, they're technical, and they're fast. And then there's guys that if I heard it out of a pack of guitar players on a random song, and I could, oh, that's Ollie, 100%. You know what I'm saying? It's like George Lynch or some shit from like the Dawkins. It's just, who that sumbitch is. And yeah, so I learned, and then I could never really master the Ollie style. So
well, I mean, he was a trained, schooled musician. He had a master's, maybe it was a bachelor's, but he had a degree. He went to college for music. He could play something like 8 or 9 different instruments or something like that. Anything with any string thing he could figure out. Mandolin. I don't think he could play like stuff with bows, right? So he couldn't play cello, couldn't play violin, but anything else he could play. If it had strings, he'd play it. And I think he could play like oboe and some of and flute and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
So
but he was, yeah. I mean, he, you know, you have to know at least a couple instruments to go to college for music, and his knowledge of theory was beyond what your average person, definitely average band dude had. And also he was the best teacher that I'd ever seen. People talk about Ollie's playing, and they talk about his performances and the songs that he wrote and stuff, and they're all right. All that stuff is great. But what most people didn't see was how incredibly well he could explain and articulate music theory to someone that didn't understand or didn't know. He was a better teacher than he was a guitar player, and that's saying a lot.
That's
like,
what
I'm not saying that he wasn't good, but that he was the best teacher of anything that I had ever met in my whole life. He was better than any teacher that I'd ever seen teach in school. He was just he knew music so well, and he was able to, you know, explain it in a way, in a very calm and measured way that was easy to understand. And he didn't expect you to know anything, but at the same time, when he was explaining stuff, it never seemed condescending. He had this amazing ability to connect with people when he was explaining stuff. It was a sight to behold. So,
well, damn. I'm like, I wish I could have been in the music realm and been able to meet all these people. Because it sucks. Like, I'm like, damn, like it's the same thing, but where I was like, man, I wish I would have seen, you know, Pantera live. I wish I would have seen, you know, all these bands live, and I wish I would have seen Killswitch before Howard, you know, went. Because I love Howard. Howard's
there's still a possibility that you might catch like Howard playing with Killswitch at times again. Like if they're on tour and Howard's in another band, he'll come out and do songs with them still. Right now, Howard and Adam are doing another project currently that'll be new. I don't know when it's coming out, but like they're working on that. So you will hear Howard doing Killswitch-esque stuff again. I don't know if you'll hear Howard doing, you know, Killswitch stuff for sure, but like if you pay attention and you're willing to travel, you might be able to find yourself a show that Howard is singing for Killswitch Engage.
Dude, I gotta see that. I gotta see that. Dude, he's my favorite. He's just something about his singing voice. Like I said, it's just so damn unique.
Yeah, you know? And it's rich. It is so full and rich. That's the it is. He's got it's like he's got a little bit he sounds a little bit black, but not like a lot black. And it's you know, he's not white, so he sounds like he's perfect. And he's a phenomenal singer. So
God, dude, yeah, man. I was listening to the most, I think it's your most recent album. It's got Wasteland on it.
Yep. That's the most
recent. I Spill Blood. Dude, Wasteland was brutal. God, it was brutal.
I was pretty happy with that one. Dude, and I got the dog on commies too. So
yeah, dude. It's so brutal. But dude, like as far as music goes, that's one thing. But I follow you on Twitter. I've been following you on Twitter for near ever. And something you champion a lot. It's like censorship. Because I think I saw you do a live performance recently, and it said "fuck censorship" on your shirt. So that makes a lot of sense, and it's wild because I mean you see it now, and it's gotten a little bit better on Twitter, but it's still like all over other apps where you're not allowed to say certain stuff, especially during like the COVID days. Oh my God, man! Yeah. You say the wrong thing, you are yeeted off a platform, son.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, and it's frustrating now to see. You know, YouTube's rolled back their policy about election interference and stuff. It used to be you couldn't say certain things, and they've rolled it back. And I'm not going to even touch the subject because I don't want to get you in trouble accidentally. But at the same time, what is that saying about the things that were off limits? Are you now saying that those things those things were okay because they were true? Because that's what it seems like the evidence is pointing at, not from YouTube, but the evidence surrounding surrounding the situation seems to be that having any kind of bans based on what people said about whether it be the election or whether it be about certain medications or whatever, it seems like the people that were actually getting kicked off for saying things have been vindicated. And now that YouTube is like, well, about election interference and that we've got another election coming. So it's like, well, are they gearing up for in case there is some kind of issue that politically they do not favor, so that way they can say things or whatever or promote ideas that at one time would have been banned in context to one candidate, but now they want to be able to make the same arguments in favor of the candidate they prefer. I can't help but think that might be something that's coming, just covering their ass. But yeah, it's a big problem, and it's a big problem because we've got a significant portion of the population that forgot that liberalism it starts with the freedom to speak your mind about whatever you want and to share an idea and the freedom to be wrong without someone thinking that you're malicious or that your life must be destroyed. And that's the most basic freedom, is the freedom to say something that's not true, whether you mean to deceive people or not, but the freedom to say something that's not true and not have your life destroyed because of it. We have like the laws in the US, like for slander and for libel and stuff. They're very, very, very high bars to cross, to actually be in violation of the law. And that's a good thing, as much as it can be a pain in the butt. And I've had to listen to people say some really terrible things about me over the course of my career, because I've been outspoken about things that were, not popular to be outspoken about. So I've had to deal with it. But at the same time, it's really important for people to be able to say things that are not true or that are wrong or that are opinions. And the consequences of not having that freedom are dramatic, and they tend to end up in piles of bodies.
Yeah. And dude, the thing is almost everyone, and I feel like the tide's turning. I've said this so many times, but I feel like the tide's turning a little bit, because 2 years ago it was really wild, but it seems like across the board, every single person that you talk to will tell you, "Oh, I'm totally for freedom of speech. I'm totally for it." But if your speech incites violence, meaning anything I disagree with incites violence. Therefore, like, you can say anything incites violence, anything at all, any belief structure, any system that you might have. Oh shit, I'm a Christian. Oh, that's violence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you see it now. You see those exact things happening now. So there's it's Pride Month, as people know, and there's a lot of prideful things going on in the country. And some of the very proud things that are going on happen to be very, very intentionally offensive to basically anyone that's a Christian. There's this group that's called the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, and by any stretch or by any metric that you would come up with, they can be considered a hate group if you believe in hate groups. Personally, I don't believe in hate groups. I think that there are groups with horrible ideas, but I don't believe in hate groups, just like I don't believe in hate speech. It's horrible speech. It's not hate speech, and it doesn't need it doesn't need a special name, because the special name implies that there is some legal consequence that should come from it, and I don't think so.
And then who determines what it is? Because then you're fucked, depending on who's in power at the time.
Because and there was a time when Christians were, really quick to jump on the you can't say this train, and they lost that kind of cultural influence in the past 20, 30 years. And now they're the ones that are getting they're getting the angry end of the stick. But the freedom to say things is important, and I don't think that some group getting targeted shouldn't mean that we have to criminalize speech or criminalize things that are being said.
Exactly, dude. 100%. Speaking of saying some stuff, let me hit these super chats. There's a few of them. These people are freaking being monsters in the chat. You bastard. God, they're like, who's not going to read them? I guess tonight. Derek Kuda says, so happy my favorite YouTuber is getting to talk with such an awesome front man. I saw you at the Sounds of the Underground in 2005 when you filled in for Howard during the Kill Switch tour. Dude, that would be wicked. That would be wicked to see you doing some Kill Switch stuff.
It was fun. I still have the Phil Switch Engage T-shirt, and
I remember that.
and not a hoodie, but it was a windbreaker. There is, and I don't know if anyone will ever see this because I believe there was like only 5 or 10 made, but there is in existence a poster that says Phil Switch Engage, and it is clearly Howard. It's the band with Howard with a mask on a, the mask's on a stick.
Yeah.
The mask is my face. And it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Holy shit.
And there's only a handful of people that are like insiders that are my current manager has one of them on his wall. And I wish that I could come up with a copy of it or something, because it might get people in trouble nowadays. But I'm not sure. The thing is, it's white face, not black face, because it's Howard's the singer and it's my face over it. But it's great. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Billy Hatcher says, I've been watching a lot of AI Sponge a lot recently and I enjoyed it a lot. Did you see the shit a show Twitch's recent ad changes? They're not allowing everyone to do multi-streaming. Yeah, so the multi-streaming thing is unbelievable. I can't believe people aren't yeeting themselves off that platform. And there's a reason why I stopped doing Twitch like over a year ago. It's because they shafted my ass. So that's when I moved to Rumble, because Rumble messaged me. They like DM me. Like that's cool. Like the head of Rumble Gaming DM me, and he's like, bro, come to Rumble. We'll set you up. And I've been at Rumble ever since. So yeah, Twitch can eat my ass. Billy Hatcher, thank you so much. I agree. Twitch is trash. Noah Sanders with $100 super chat. Let's kick off the night with a red boy for Phil. We need to get 5 milk, no excuses. Phil, drag Cody onto Pop Culture Crisis. He'd be an awesome guest.
Yeah, if you ever come up to the West Virginia area, I imagine you could come on to Pop Culture Crisis and have a really good time.
Dude, I'd be down as hell.
We'd have to ask Brett, but
I go to Virginia like at least once a month for a race. So
oh really?
Yeah.
We should talk about this. It'd be fun to have you on Pop Culture Crisis.
Dude, I'm down as hell. Thank you, Noah Sanders, for the recommendation, and I love you. You beautiful. Trent Westbrook with another $100 super chat. He says Ferrari red. Let's give him a little bit of that BFG. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Love you, Trent. You're goated as hell. And there's another 101 here. It's Disco Cobra. He says, does Phil have any cool stories to share from the road? Which bands does he know and like? He knows a lot, probably. Sorry if it's a bit of a loaded question. I'm sure he knows many people. I enjoy hearing about experiences from other people within music. Also love you on Tim Pool's show. Thank you so much, Disco.
Cheers.
You're goated. $300 super chats in a row. That is insane. 80, Billy Hatcher.
Shouldn't you be halfway naked now? Oh, no, that's at 500.
I'm close. It's close.
Okay.
And not full way naked. Full way naked is like, they got to pay me at least $100 grand. I'm going to be banned, right? So I got to make my income up somehow.
It's got to be, because how long you get banned for? At least a month, right? Or would it be like complete ban?
Yeah, it probably complete ban. But I could buy me like a Ferrari, like a used one.
And you can still be on Rumble, right?
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'll be basically rich as hell. There you go, 100 grand. I grew up in a trailer park. 100 grand's a lot of money. Okay,
it's nothing to sneeze at.
No, dude, not at all, man. Like I got out. I was 20 when I left the trailer park. 20. I was an old man.
You were,
yeah. But it all worked out. Thank God for YouTube. Thank you, Disco Cobra. I love you. I appreciate you. So let's find
stories from the road.
4 stories from the road. I bet you got a lot of them.
I can tell you about the time that we crashed a bus.
Damn.
And I mean, and when I say we, I mean not the bus driver. We were going to Canada, and when you go to Canada, when you go on tour, you send the bus company all of the places you're going to be playing.
Yeah.
And they knew that we had shows in Canada, and so they sent us a bus driver. And we get to the border, and they're like, "Yeah, he can't come in." And we're like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, he can't come in." So we're like, get the fuck out of here. We kicked him off the bus. We took the bus into Canada, called up the owner, and we're like, yo, we got your bus. Your driver is sitting at the border. Fly up to Toronto tomorrow or I think it was later on today is what we wanted, so he could finish the drive. We were like, we're going to take the bus because we had a sold out show in Toronto. I was like, we're not missing this. So we take off, and it's a beautiful day in like January or February. I don't remember exactly, but it's a beautiful day, right? It's gorgeous, sunny out. It's cold, obviously, because it's Canada, but it's super nice out. So I'm like, all right, cool. We're in. I'm going to go to bed now because you get to the border super early.
Yeah.
It makes it easier to cross. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to sleep. I go and lay down. I fall asleep. I don't know how long later, our tour manager comes to my bunk, and he's like, yo, Phil, get up. We need you to see this. And as I'm walking out into the front lounge, the door opens up. I walk out into the front lounge, and I see it is a whiteout out front, right? So you can't see anything. A snow squall moved through. You can't see the road. You can't see in front of you. It's just white. And our guitar tech was driving, and he's about to pull the bus over to the side of the road, but he can't see that it looks like it goes kind of like that because of the snow, but what it does is go like that. So the bus starts going over. It doesn't go all the way over, and I'm like, thank God, but I like literally had to walk up on the side of the on the side of the wall to not go. Everything falls out of all on the side of the bus. And we're literally like up in the air. We call someone to pull us out. The guy comes to pull us out. I stick my head out the driver's side, and I'm like, hey, you're going to be able to get us out. And he goes, haven't lost one yet. Thankfully, they were able to pull us out, right? It got us onto the ground, got it flattened out. Everything's cool. Guy goes, I have never seen a bus with a front wheel so high in the air and not go completely over. And we managed to drive the bus the rest of the way and play the show, and the bus driver was there to drive the bus the next day. So, but we told him, we stole the bus. We're like, we're going. We're not missing the show. So
Dude, that's stressful as hell.
Yo, God, I was dying. Hold on a second.
God. Look at this guy right here. Bear Business says, get Camelot to Virginia. Your nightly Naked Snake won our team trivia night. Thank you so much, Bear Business with a BFG. Look at this man. Amazing. Thank you, Bear Business. I love you. I appreciate you. You're goated as hell, bud. That's like the fourth Red Boy, I think. Babada says, since there is talk about metal music here, can I make a suggestion on a band to check out? Look up Love Bots. They're an all-female band that are starting to get a fair amount of attention among Western audiences. Oh, they were all female Japanese girls. I'm all about that shit. Thank you so much, Babada.
You know, it's a all female metal Japanese band that you can actually like look at and not think, oh, I might go to jail if I look at them too long or something.
Yeah, and I don't want to go to jail, Phil.
No,
please don't do this to me. God, like
I don't want to go to jail either.
Trying to avoid it like the plague. Check out Love Bots, everybody in the chat. That sounds kick ass as hell. It's like I was listening to this song by Bring Me the Horizon yesterday. I was driving to the shop, and there was like baby metal. It's called Kingslayer. And I was like, this is kind of.
Is that the new one?
Oh, I think it is. I think it's on the Throne album. I can't remember. I went and saw them recently, and Knocked Loose opened for them, and I was messed up, man. So I had this girl, and she's like, dude, let's go see Bring Me the Horizon. And I'm like, I haven't listened in a while, but yeah, I'll go with you because, she's attractive. So I go there, and she keeps buying me these Jack and Cokes, and they're like double shot. And so we get to like halfway through Knock Loose set, and I'm tripping balls. And the guy's playing an Ibanez Iceman, the guitar player. And I was like, man, I've always wanted a really nice Iceman. So I get on eBay, and I'm scrolling through eBay, and I find a Japanese like 78 PS10, which is like it's not even an Iceman. It's just like a Japanese like Paul Stanley like standard issue model, and it's like $3,800, $4,000. And I just make an offer for like $2,800. I was drunk, mind you. And then I put my phone down, and I just went over, and I didn't bring her up.
And I went back to the show.
It was awesome. And so I go home. It's like a couple hours. I sober up. I drive home, get to the house, go to sleep, wake up in the morning, and I got a message from eBay. And it's like, bro, it's time to pay for your item. Your offer was accepted. And I was like, no. Oh my God.
So did you have to pay for it or what?
Yeah, it's in my studio right now. It's an awesome guitar. That's what I was playing 6 on yesterday.
Nice
guitar, dude. It's brutal. But yeah, I was like, oh damn, I should probably not drink at shows, man, because I see a cool guitar. I'm like, I gotta buy some shit.
I can't. I like guitars myself. I like Mayonis, and I'm kind of like that. If I see a really nice one, I'm like,
dude, you should hit up Ola England. He sent me a Solar guitar 2 years ago.
Did he?
Yeah, he jumped in my chat during a stream and was like, hey bro, I heard you like Solar guitars, and I'm like, well yeah. And then he emailed me and he sent me one. It was a 7-string, and it is a monster. It is brutal. So I play everything in drop tunings and that, because I'm like a standard flat kind of guy, or a drop D flat or drop D at the max. But yeah, it's, when it starts getting down to inaudible, like you can't even understand what's happening, I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
That's one of the things I like about 7 strings. Like if you've got a 7-string and you can tune it just normal, and you still got that low B to get the low heavy sounding stuff, and you've got the rest of the guitar, I got play along with like Metallica stuff, because I've got a guitar that's in E, and then I can write heavy stuff if I want, and use the B string.
Just move down 1 string, baby.
That's right, man.
Fat bitch down there. And it's like it's the only fat bitch that I want around, and it's that damn B string.
That's right. I like thick chicks.
Dude, same. God, there's this one girl. Her name's shit. I don't remember. Somebody in the chat remembers. She was all over Twitter like a month ago for just being over the top looking blonde girl. I don't remember her name. Anyways, and everybody was like,
ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, I would die right now for it. No, Carol Dunes or something. Anyways, Carrie Dunes or something. But
Miss Carrie June. Yeah, with gigantic, thick, muscly legs and an ass that. Yeah, I know. Everybody knows.
Kick me in the
Miss
face.
Carrie June. Yeah.
God, I want to die from her leg. Could you imagine that being your last memory? Just God, I would.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh, she's awesome. No, anyway, so there was this post, and it was like, if like somebody tagged me in it, it was a big post, and they're like, "Hey, man, like Camelot, would you?" And like, if you like it, if you say yes, you're gay. And I'm like, well, I'm gay as hell.
Oh yeah, because like, gay. She's got muscles. Oh, she's gay, so you must be gay. It's like, that's the dumbest thing I ever.
I'm the gayest dude on earth, apparently, because I've never been more just astonished, girl.
Like if you are into big asses, but you like the cottage cheese, we are not the same. Like I like a muscly girl. I like she doesn't have to look like ripped or anything, but I don't think that like I think that the muscle is where it's at. It's like that's where you get the shape. That's where like tone. That's where the shape of a woman comes from. It's not,
Yeah, dude, Phil, we're bros now.
We absolutely are.
Everybody says this shit to me. They're like, "Oh yeah, I don't like a slot 6-pack and some shoulders on a girl." I'm like, dude, I will throw you out a window right now, dude. I will. I see that stuff, bro.
My girlfriend is at the gym right now.
Yeah,
actually, she might not be right now, but she was like right before we got started.
I train girls. I train a lot of girls. They always want me to train them.
I'm sure you
because you can't tell. But I'm a thick guy, and you can't tell. My clothes are deceiving. But I train girls a lot, and they'll start out and they'll be like real scrawny girls, right? Or like maybe normal, yeah. And they
have dinner.
They'll be like, I can't gain weight, and I need you to give me a diet plan, and I want you to like take me to the gym, because all they know about is like running and shit. And I'm like, running's not going to get you nowhere, girl. So I'll take them to the gym, and I'll be like, look, let's do this shit. And I'll throw them on a flat bench. I'm gonna teach them good form, slightly arc that bitch, throw some plates up, and then a year later, and because these girls will be like, I'll be like, well, what do you eat? And they'll be like, well, it's
I have Dunkin' Donuts in the morning.
Yeah, I had a handful of oats and a coffee, and I'm like, bitch, it is 5 p.m. What do you mean? You just can't gain weight. I'm shocked.
No shit, you can't.
Yeah, so I'll get
no shit. The weight you gain is not the weight you want, is it? I'm not surprised.
So, dude, I'm getting them. I'm like, all right, here you go. I'm gonna make you 5 servings of ground beef every 2 days. We're gonna go ham, and then I'll get them lifting, and they'll come to the gym. It's a year and a half later. Same girls I've been training, and they got shoulders. They got the slot chest, and they're putting up a plate and a 10 on bench. No girl in my gym does that. The 2 girls I train both do it. And they got those turd cutters for days, bro. Oh, dude, they're doing kickbacks and stuff, and they're wearing those pants that like squeeze it all up. And I'm telling you what, man.
Yes. Exercise is good for your body, and it's good for everybody's body. You should lift weights. Everybody should lift weights, as much weight as you possibly can. Like, push yourself. Doesn't matter if you're a woman, doesn't matter if you're a man, doesn't matter how old you are. You should always be pushing yourself. Now, granted, as you get older, the weight might come down. That's fine, but you should still be pushing yourself. You really, really need that resistance. Human beings are anti-fragile, like the opposite of fragile. We get better with resistance. You want to get better at something, you have to do the Stoic philosophers had this I think it was Marcus Aurelius that said the obstacle is the way. So the thing that is in your way is where you need to go. The thing that you're afraid of is what you have to go after. The thing that you feel insecure about, that's where you need to be. The thing that you find difficult, that's what you need to be working on. The obstacle is the way, because that is what makes you a better person every day. It makes you better today than you were yesterday, and it will make you better tomorrow.
Dude, and that's so important, because now you have this rise. And I was talking about this with some lady's mom the other day I was training. She stopped by my house and she was like, she's an older woman. She's like 57. And she's like, I don't understand. I was talking to this young lady the other day, and she was talking about self-care, and this girl's idea of self-care. Obviously she was overweight and, working a minimum wage job and didn't have any drive to do anything else. But her idea of self-care was sleeping, eating like all day, ice cream, watching some stuff on Netflix, and avoiding any accountability or responsibility. That's not self-care, bro. That is
self-indulgence.
You will feel so accomplished if you try to set a goal and you achieve or get close to that bitch. You'll feel bigger and better than you've ever had in your life.
Dude, and the higher you set your goals, the further you'll go, even if you fail. If you commit to really go after your goals, if you set a high goal and you're really going for it, you're gonna get further than you ever believe you could, even if you don't make it to the goal.
Yeah, and it's people that are already like occupying that successful space that will try to tell people this shit. Look, dude, all you gotta do is do the thing, and you can do the thing. And they're like, I'm not, that feels like propaganda to me. Dude, like when I started YouTube, I was streaming, I was making videos, and there was nobody watching. I think my biggest video had like 10,000 views, and it was because I got real lucky on a Reddit post. And then every subsequent video after that had like 100 views for 6 months, man. And I was working full time on the side. And I decided to quit YouTube. I was like, all right, look, I gave it my best shot. I said I'd do 6 months. I did 6 months. Can't do anymore. I'm dying. I got to do my job. I was a district manager at Walmart. And I went to sleep like a week or two later. I hadn't did anything on YouTube. Went to sleep, woke up, and all of a sudden I had like 10,000 subs. And then the next day I had 20. And the next day I had 30,000. Because it's like the algorithm noticed that I was doing shit. And then all of a sudden it became my full-time job in like 2 days.
Yeah.
And it's because I did that thing for 6 months. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, dude, if you want to do content creation, if you want to do music, set your goal, do that shit, and follow through and do everything you can and to be successful. And if it just doesn't pan out in 5 years, you did everything you could do, man. But
in 1996, I was in a band called Shadows Fall.
Yeah, dude.
It took 10 years of busting my ass, touring in vans, working when I was at home, 10 years until we released The Fall of Ideals. So 10 years of just grinding it out, sleeping in vans, sleeping in Motel 6s, the whole band and our merch guys sleeping in one Motel 6 room, getting $5 a day so we can eat Taco Bell. Did that for 10 years. So I feel you. And, I wouldn't trade it for anything, because now it's not hard.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you didn't know that you were going to do, like, when you're sitting there making videos every day for nobody, like, you didn't know that it was going to happen. Like, you didn't have any like, it could totally have been you do that for forever and nobody ever catches on, right? Like, I mean, it's completely reasonable to think that might be the case, but it didn't, because you kept doing it,
Yeah, dude. And I have a question, because I don't know much about music, like the music industry. I've been trying to, dude. I wrote 2 albums and mixed them myself in my studio, and trust me, I have no idea what I'm doing. and it's like Nightwish stuff. So it's, you know, it's what I really weirdly like that shit. And I wrote this full album recently, like a few years ago, finished it and released it on like some random YouTube channel, and then never talked about it again. And yeah, so it, you know, obviously it didn't go anywhere. It was just kind of a passion project for me after my wife left, because I was like, I got to do fucking something. So I wrote an album, and actually, like, for like the first time I ever wrote music, really, like, actually really tried, and then finished that whole album. And a lot of people on in my chat know one of the songs. One of the songs was like my favorite one. It was one I really feel like I got into my groove on. But when it came to, like you said, it took you 10 years. You went from Shadows Fall, you were sleeping and shit in buses and whatnot, eating Taco Bell. Fall of Ideals come out. I've called it Fall of Idols for 1,000 years. I don't know why. Probably the Alabama thing, but the Fall of Ideals comes out. So what happens? Like, so does your earnings like structure completely change overnight?
No. We didn't. Like, our lifestyle changed a little bit. The Fall of Ideals came out, and it was like we got a lot of attention and we got a lot of heat, but we didn't start making money.
Yeah.
You know, until like I didn't start making enough money to be like, okay, I can actually pay bills until probably like 2009. Like, it was Overcome had come out, and like 2 weeks was on the radio before I started getting a decent amount of money, you know. And it wasn't, even then, it wasn't like loaded money. Like, All That Remains doesn't make, like millions and millions of dollars like for the band. We make millions of dollars for other people, because record deals suck. Yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst. But we've recouped, so we don't owe the record label any money. So I get a check twice a year that's like legit. So, that's cool. I don't have to worry about, if like doing the stuff with Tim is great. It's awesome. I love it. But like, if I didn't have the stuff with Tim, like, All That Remains was paying the bills without any kind of, problem before that. So, like, it was probably like 2010 before I was like, okay, I feel good about where I am monetarily. And that was really because we were making money touring. It wasn't getting money from anything else. Nowadays, like, we don't have a record deal anymore. Like, I don't want to sign a record deal, because record deals nowadays, they're going to be like, we want to own it, and there's no reason for me to do that. So we'll do a license with a record maybe, but it's not going to be like a standard, we own this kind of record deal thing. I'll be making money as soon as we release music, as opposed to being like, oh, we owe the label and it's going to take us, 5 years to pay it back or whatever. So, but yeah, it took a little time. It probably was like 2009 or so, 10 before I kind of felt okay about money.
Dude, speaking of feeling okay, dude, I think you tweeted the other day that the Fall of Ideals went gold.
Yes.
Dude, that is kick ass.
It's
dude,
cool.
I was when I saw your tweet, I was like, yeah. Because it's like the Fall of Ideals, and 2 weeks, to be fair, like sculpted like my teenage years, man. Like,
that's awesome.
God, they were.
Well,
awesome,
I mean, we didn't think that, like, we didn't think we would have like gold records, because when we kind of started to really get noticed, it was like right at the end of records. 2007 is when the first iPhone came out. And once the iPhone came out, it was only a couple of years until the iTunes store was at full go. And then people stopped, buying music the way that they did. They weren't buying records. They were buying, individual songs and stuff. So we have a couple songs that had gone, that have gone gold since. The songs did, but like, the actual records, it was the whole record. It was like, I don't know if any of our records are going to go gold and stuff. So it's cool that the Fall of Ideals finally crossed that line. But like, if you look at like how many spins the songs get, it's like they're millions and millions and millions and millions of spins. And I'm just like, it'd be cool to have gold records, but we still get millions of spins, you know? And so it's like, it's become a weird thing. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, to be able to say, yes, we have, we got 4 gold records and a platinum record. That's awesome to be able to say, I mean, I never thought it was going to be a thing, because like I said, when we started out, I didn't think that being in a band was going to be my job. I thought that it was going to be a fun thing I did with my homies,
do they send you like an actual gold record?
Well, we do. Like what you do is you have to get the official approval from the Recording Industry Association of America, the RIAA. That's the little foil thing you get on it. And then once you get the approval, then the companies that make gold records, there's like probably, I think there's one or two, but there's not a lot there, but they will go ahead and actually make you design it. You design it however you want, and then they'll go and they'll make it for you with the little official hologram RIAA to officially say that you did it. But we still do it. Like no one else pays, like we pay for them.
Right. So, yeah. So, and I feel like for me, like this is not even kind of a comparison, but like when you hit 100K subscribers on YouTube, they send you this goofy little silver thing.
I got one of those too.
Hell yeah. And because all that remains is like 400,000 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And so like when I got that shit, because like I gotta be honest, I've never done anything in my life. So I was married for a long time, worked a dead-end job at GameStop until I was 28 actually. And then I started coming into this universe trying to like create shit. Mm-hmm. And so when I got this goofy thing, it was like
it's awesome, man.
It was like this solidification in like I finally have done something for myself.
Yeah,
of a corporation or other people.
People in the music industry, they talk about Grammys and shit like that. I don't give a shit about Grammys. Randy from Lamb of God did the right thing by not going to the Grammys and auctioning off his Grammy and giving the money away. That's awesome. That's super cool. Because F the Grammys. But you know what's awesome? Gold records, because that's people that listen to my shit that love it.
Yeah,
that's what's cool. Gold records are cool. Grammys and all that bullshit from the Academy and from basically just the music industry sucking its off. Whatever. The thing that matters is that people love the stuff that you do. People, the real people that are actually sitting there listening to the songs when they're sitting in traffic, and the people that the songs mean something to.
Yeah, because one is your work and the other is politics.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And it goes the same thing, like the same thing for like the play button from YouTube for you. It's like people are coming to your stream and coming to your channel because of you, not anything else. Like it's because you're fun and people dig what you do and they want to come and hang out and listen to you talk to people and stuff. So it's like that's what matters. So like I wouldn't call it all that silly, in my opinion. I think it's fucking awesome, like to have like that kind of like, hey, look, the shit that I do, people dig,
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Phil. I appreciate you, because that means a lot coming from your ass. From other random content creator, I'm like, yeah, whatever. But like, what I wanted to do was like proceed in music. I've always wanted to play music. I played music live when I was 17 for the first and last time for a band called Bloodborne, I think. Yeah, Bloodborne. And played live like once or twice, I think. It was like behind this place. And it was like really tight music. But then the band just fell apart. And I was 17. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Mm-hmm. And that was the last time. And forever since then, I'm like, that's all I ever wanted to do. And I just never really could find a way to do it. Like finding people around me, by the time I'm already in my late 20s at this point, when I started to like consider trying to pursue that. And then I pursued YouTube at the same time, and then YouTube worked out. And then I just was like, well, and now I still every day I talk to
Derek. You 30 what? How 30 what?
33.
Yeah, you know how old I was when the Fall of Ideals came out?
Shit, let me think. What is it? 2006? What is that when it came out? Oh, so that's 25, 30 maybe? 31. 31. Hey,
31 years old and the Fall of Ideals came out. So
in 2 weeks, it's pretty badass. And you were probably,
I mean, that I don't complain about 2 weeks at all. That's the biggest song we got. So
great song, dude. It plays in my gym every day.
It does it really? That's so cool.
Dude, I hear it come on. It's like bump, 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 bump. I'm like, here it goes. My gym owner is like real big into like metalcore, and so every song's just metal, and I'm just like, this is great.
That's awesome, man.
I did make him put an Alter Bridge song on recently as a joke for fun.
I like Alter Bridge, man.
Miles Kennedy is awesome.
He is. He really is.
God, his voice is unrivaled. Yep. So I was like, yeah, you got to put what is that? Open your eyes. I was like, you got to put that shit on there. I love that song.
They're fucking great, man.
God, it's awesome. Power Taco says, I love Phil. The first metal show I went to was As I Lay Dying, All That Remains, and Haste the Day in Kansas City, 2009. Amazing show. Love you too, Goomba. Thank you, Power Taco. Appreciate
That's awesome, man.
There's so many. God, you guys are crazy as hell. See, this is the power of Phil Labonte. Sage says, have you guys heard of Electric Callboy? Parasite is one of my top songs right now. Pump It is the greatest music video I've ever seen. And Hurricane is just wild, and the story behind how the song came to be is hilarious.
I have not heard that.
I haven't either, Phoenix Sage. You just, we don't, it must be terrible because I've never heard of it.
That's right.
Thank you.
If I haven't heard, it's got to suck.
It's got to. The Phoenix Sage, you're goated for that pink boy. Disco Cobra says, I like girls in different scales. I mean, lean, muscular women are fine. For me, a woman built like Haley Williams from Paramore or Sandra Nasik of Guano Apes is really nice to look at. Also, love curvy women as well, like Hourglass. Well, it depends on what you mean by curvy, man.
He's just like, give me. I
don't care what they look like. No, because, curvy can mean, Disco, like 500 pounds. There's a lot of technically there's a lot of damn curves there. I mean, they're like
danger.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't need to flour that shit down. Right? No. And then it has the fat people smell, and that, God, man, I got on a plane the other day. And dude, there's you ever got on a plane and you're just in between two giant people?
God, yes. It doesn't happen much because now I've been flying for so long and I've flown so much that I got the app and I'm in there changing my seat if something's awry. So I know you got to make sure you get the aisle or you got to get the window.
They're radiators.
I have been stuck in between people and it is a rough situation,
dude. I'm like, they are radiators. They are like the hottest some bitches. And I'm like, how are you this hot? And then they're breathing real hard. And then if they fall asleep, they're snoring so damn loud. Like, bro, can you like walk somewhere? Because you got to lose some of this shit. I'm tired of your ass. Like, dude, God, I had a stream the other day called Fat Acceptance. It was like a Fat Acceptance podcast episode with Nick Ricada. And it was just us just shitting on fat people for like 3 hours. It was great. It was
Nick Ricada is hilarious.
I love that man.
He's so great.
Dude, I can't wait. Can't wait for that.
What was that?
He's on vacation. I'm like, man, I can't wait for him to come back.
Oh, okay. That's what he's doing. Because I heard him talking recently about, he's like, you guys talk about how much I go on vacation and you're right, because I can. And I'm like, yes, that's what we need. Yeah, I'm going on vacation because I can, because my family's important. Screw you. Like, that's it. That's awesome.
Hell yeah. Zach Toll says, Phil, I saw you play in 2006 alongside Dragon Force at Warfield in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Badass. Thank you, Zach. That was a question I kind of wanted to ask you because I noticed that I don't know how the music industry is, especially in metal. But, you hold, I guess, opinions that most people probably hold, reasonable people. But does those opinions ever get in the way of like shows or maybe bands that or people within these spectrums where they're like, oh, I don't want to, I don't want to be on a tour with Phil because he thinks this or this about guns or some shit. You ever experienced that?
It's likely not about guns. I haven't noticed that people have much of a perspective on that or much of a strong opinion on that. I'm sure that there are people that have said they don't want to do things because they don't like my politics. It's not anything that I'm aware of. So nobody's been like, oh, they said they don't want to because you're this. My politics are not that. Are like I'm a generally a kind of libertarian dude, so it's not like I've got super weird politics. It's like basically I just don't want the government to do things because when the government does things, they do things wrong and they screw things up. That's essentially what it is. Look, they're bad at shit. They're constantly bad at shit. We constantly hear they're bad at shit. So maybe we shouldn't have them like trying to live our lives for us. That's my basic political opinion. So I haven't noticed that, but I'm sure that there are people in the music industry, in the business side, that don't like me. And the reason I know this is because I've heard stuff from people on the business side. That's, it's not the bands, it's, people in positions at companies that, that you typically would think have opinions. So like, oh, we don't want to promote that band because of this, or we don't like this. this opinion, but it just boils down to leftists, like committed leftists, not just your regular like Democrat kind of people, but like actual leftists trying to do what they can to either not work with us or to keep us from. I don't have any actual evidence that people have done things to try to harm us, but there are things that have happened where it's like, man, that really looks like someone stuck their nose and it was like, so I don't have specific stuff, but like the metal blogs, like they spent the better part of a decade and a half just tearing me apart every chance they got. Whether it started probably in like 2010 or so, and I noticed that one of them just recently ran a thing about a song that we did and was very, very complimentary, and I was like, what the hell's going on? Come to find out, there's new ownership apparently, but it had gotten to the point where, I knew that if my name was going to be in one of the metal blogs, that they were not going to be complimentary. If we put a record out, they weren't going to be complimentary about it. If I say something on the internet, they're not going to be complimentary, So, and it was because of politics, because they had stated their own politics were very far left, and they didn't like the idea of someone like me being successful.
It's what's weird to me. The weirdest thing about all of this is it's whatever to disagree with someone. Like we do this shit every day. I may not like spaghetti, but you may. That's it's a normal occurrence in human life. The weird thing is when people try to go after your like livelihood. Yeah. So strange to me. It's like, why do you care that much? There's people that were in my chat for like a year, like making hit pieces on me, like messaging my family, messaging sponsors, which they got my sponsors pulled at one point, like all of them. Just crazy shit.
All
like,
because you like boobs.
Yeah, it was shit. I don't even remember what it was about. I think it was because they didn't like my voice. They thought that my redneck ass accent, which I'm not proud of, they thought it was fake. Like I created it as a character. Like, dude, I'm from Hoax Bluff, Alabama.
Dude, one of the things I gotta say, this is a little off topic. When I first heard you talking, I thought that I was like, that's gotta be the guy that does action figure theater. Do you know action figure theater? Have you ever heard of that? All right, so it's a little on the old side, probably 10 years ago, and it was popular. And I might even be getting the name wrong, but they just took G.I. Joe guys, like the G.I. Joe dolls, and they put them in crazy situations, and it was, they were just, they didn't really do a whole lot with them, but they were just making jokes with the G.I. Joe guys, and they were hilarious. And you sound like one of the characters, and I was like, is that the same dude? And I was looking in and kind of find out you're not, because obviously you don't even know what it is. But
people tell me I sound like Danny McBride all the time, and I don't hear that. I don't hear it at all.
I don't know I'm not sure who Danny McBride is.
Oh God, he's in every damn thing. Have you ever seen that show? It's called The Righteous Gemstones.
No.
God, it's a great show, man. He was in Pineapple Express. He's in a ton of damn movies, and he's like the redneck guy with a mullet in every movie. Just redneck guy with a mullet, and they're always like, "You sound like Danny McBride," and I'm like,
"Oh, okay."
Yeah, he's just he's just in every damn thing.
I mean, I could see why people might think you sound a little bit like him.
Yeah, I can't hear it, but that's just how it is sometimes. Just can't hear shit. Real quick, let's hit a few of these. Little bit of a shorter show today, boys, because Phil's got to do things in the morning, and I got to also do things. But we're gonna read through these bitches, do some Naked Snake, and we'll answer any questions here from these. Slaglust says, "Here's 5 for the Goomba. You and Ricada disappear for a week. I know what you were doing, checking heartbeats." Yeah, I miss Nick. Dude, he was on vacation, and I was like, man, I need to message him for like so many reasons, and then I just never did. But like you messaged me, and I was like, well, shit, I guess Nick messaged him or something.
I saw the show where like Nick was like, I think I might be able to make a connection, and because you both had your shirt off too, it was hilarious. You're both shirtless, like I think I can make the connection to Phil from All That Remains for you.
Yeah,
because me and him were on a I think it was a Sargon stream.
Yeah, I don't know why. Every time I'm like, hey, man, I would really like to work with this person. Nick's like, well, I can hook you up. I'm like, how do you know everybody, Nick? What the hell is that about?
He's just been around, man.
He's been around, dude.
Been around.
Trads Beardman, love you, dude. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Phil, tell Carter that he needs to make just as good of an intro for Timcast IRL. Love seeing you two on a show together. Thank you.
Carter, I don't know. I don't know that Tim wants any kind of music for IRL. I think he likes to just jump in and start running his mouth. He's got the monologue down pat,
Yeah.
So
yeah, dude,
he got that.
Trust me, he knows what he's doing. He got them numbers, son. Drew B. Rant says, my first introduction to Phil was Melissa Cross's The Zen of Screaming. And I've been a fan of his work ever since. That was a great DVD and lesson. Stay metal out there.
Awesome, man. Cheers.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Drew B. I appreciate you. Andy Ackerman says, I lied. It doesn't creep me out. I just filled your inbox with more pics for you. Thank you, Andy Ackerman. I appreciate that.
Nice.
Noah Sanders says, Phil, you better be doing Naked Snake and Fight Milk shit. And if you know the song Snake Eater from MGS3, you need a song. I don't
know what Naked Snake or Fight Milk is.
Have you ever played Metal Gear Solid?
Played what?
Those video games, Metal Gear Solid?
Oh yeah, okay.
God, they're fantastic. Love those games. So
I played one of them. But I remember which one it was.
I think I was talking. We were talking about before the stream started, and I was like, "Yeah, there's a point where I take my shirt off, right?" Well, when I do that, I play a song from Metal Gear Solid 3, and it's called Snake Eater. And the costume in Snake's code name before he becomes Big Boss is Naked Snake, and it plays that song. So I put on a bandana and I take my shirt off, and that's why it's called Naked Snake. Thank you, Noah.
What is Fight Milk though?
Oh, dude, Fight Milk's brutal. So so Fight Milk's when I get to $1,000 in super chats, and we hit it. There was like a month where I hit it like every stream for like 13
Congratulations.
I couldn't sleep for like a month because it keeps me up because my stomach's turning. But basically, it's like 2 whole eggs, 8 ounces of milk, and like a shot of whiskey, right? Yeah, and I down it, and it's rough. It's rough.
Fight Milk.
Nick Ricada claims he likes it, but I feel like he claims he likes that shit.
Oh God.
Once a month, it sounds like a perfect setup for a monthly guest spot. Thank you, Noah Sanders. Appreciate you. Tristan says, I'm doing good. Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. I got a question. Does working out give you more energy? I've always been told if you exercise, you gain more energy. Is that truth to that? Yeah, so the energy you gain there's like the mental aspect of it, and there's also the fact that you're increasing your total allotment of testosterone, which will give you more energy in the long run anyway, which is always important because testosterone levels are 50% lower than they ever have been in history, which is why every dude is frail and sad all the time. And like
everybody should just take Dianabol or everybody should get on the juice. Gear up, boys. Gear up.
Get that the sandwich, bro. God, hell yeah, dude. I'm talking about. People are like, have you ever considered TRT? I'm like, what do you mean consider? Maybe when I was 26. and then never had to consider it again.
That's right, man. I made that decision.
Yeah, that was it. Done. Yeah, I was hanging out with this girl one time. She was like a legit model, and I was like, man, I'm just not really feeling like up to it today. And I was talking to this girl. I hung out with the girl. That happened. Next day, I was at the gym, and I was like talking to this guy. He's like ex-military, he's size of a freaking house, monster guy. He's like 50, freaking poof. And I was like, man, I'm just, I'm not feeling it. I'm kind of down. I'm not really wanting to smash this hot chick right now. And he's like, Test C, baby. And I'm like, what? He's like, Test C. You're
in your 20s.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, Test C. I don't know what that is. Bro, oh yeah. I was like, it's fine now. Dude, I see a left ass cheek and I'm like, let's go. I'll take my pants off right now. Doesn't take much. Yeah, so fix that issue.
I love your reaction to me bringing up juice. Yeah.
People have this weird idea. They're like, oh no, bro, that's bad. And I'm like, you have no idea.
No, you know what's bad? Chopping your penis off. That's bad.
Yes.
Doing a little test, not so bad.
Bro, do a lot of it.
Do a lot. Do all of it.
How many cc's does that bitch hold? 8? Oh, that's great. Once a week. Damn, son. Hell yeah. I'm all about it. People are like, Cody, you can't fill that whole thing up. You're gonna die. I'm like, bro, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Come on, put that bitch in me. Hematomas, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm all about that. I had Donut Operator on my show like last month.
Donut's great.
Yeah, we get on that conversation. Same shit. Woo! Yeah. I'm like, man, I couldn't grow a beard, and all of a sudden it was like down here. I was like, what the fuck?
I lived in San Antonio for about a year. I had an apartment down there just to hang out with those guys, and they're all fucking super sweet dudes.
Yeah, dude, he's great. I messaged him. I DM'd his ass. He has like 4 million subs, dude. I DM'd him. I'm like, hey, I'm from Alabama. You're from Alabama. My name's Cody. Your name's Cody. You should come on my show. And he was like, oh, wow, you're from Alabama? Yeah, I'll come on your show. And I'm like, what the fuck? Okay.
Yeah, he's just super chill and cool. He's like
great, yeah.
super nice. So.
Yeah, and he's like, dude, anytime you want to come to range, just let me know. And I'm like, well, son of a bitch, let's do this. Yeah, so he's a great dude. Skippy says, I work with Jason Costa at a dispensary in Boston. He's a super chill dude. We talk about metal and video games.
Jason Costa is our drummer.
Really?
Yeah.
He works in Boston? Well, damn. Hell yeah. Rock on, dude. Yeah, dude. He's been your drummer since what, 06 or some shit?
Yeah, 2007. He did not play on the Fall of Ideals. His first record was Overcome.
Dude, his kick drum, I don't know what it is, but it's like, it's tasty.
Fast.
It's like, and it's like the tone, dude. And I watched a live show from like 2022, I think. It was recent.
Oh, and that might have been that might have been with Anthony Barone, because Jason came out for last year. We did the Fall of Ideals anniversary tour, and Jason did like the first couple of weeks, and he had to go home to do some family stuff. And then this kid Anthony Barone came out, and Anthony was another monster. Like, he's just insane. So
it was a guy. Is it Jason Richardson? Is the guitarist, right?
Jason Richardson is our guitar player now. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a show with him.
Yep.
And you were playing, I think, 2 weeks. And anyways, the kick drum is always so tight. It's like it sounds like somebody hitting like a tiny little tight tink drum. I love it. Love that shit.
Yeah. That attack is I'm really, really particular about the kind of drum tones that we get. So
yeah, dude. I love it. I love that shit. Thank you, Noah Sanders. Yeah, he knows Metal Gear. Maybe not Metal Gear 3, but he knows Metal Gear. Phoenix Sage says, have you guys heard of yeah, I already read that one. What the hell? Damn, we already heard about that music that I've never heard of. Richard says, self-care is eating pizza, wearing Walmart trans shirts, and watching Camelot 3-1 strip naked. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate that. Cult of Personality. Oh, Cult of Personality. I get it. Been a fan of All That Remains since I heard and played 6 and Guitar Hero 2. Crazy how influential those games were. Looking forward to more material and Rip Ollie. Thank you, Cult of Personality.
Cheers,
DSP's Flaccid Pork Missile says, discovered All That Remains in credits of Saw 3 with Disc Calling. That's pretty cool. I watched Saw 3 recently. I guess I didn't realize that song was in the credits. Blew me away. Fan ever since. Acoustic version of F Love in the time for this. Dude, I was listening to that shit today. Yeah, dude. I was listening to Fuck Love today.
Hold on. Hey.
Holy Ozone says Cody pretends to be G.I. Joe guy. Rock on, Phil. Thank you, Mr. Holy Ozone. I love you. Appreciate you. Love you, Rob. Dude, Colton's here right now, Rob. We're drinking every night, and I miss you because it makes me think of you. Christian Wolf says Phil is awesome. Top 5 CAMELCAST guest for sure.
Thank you.
Hell yeah, dude. Samantha, I love you, baby. Thank you, baby. All right, here we go. Here's that pink boy I was missing. It's the Squid. Been a fan since high school. Unfortunately, never got to see you live. Same.
We'll fix that.
Yeah, that's for damn sure, man. You guys ever come to the Mars in Huntsville, bro? That's like 6 minutes away. Dude, I went and saw. Well, let me read this before I start saying some shit. Only bands I've seen live is Avatar and the bands that opened up for them in NC. Then Volbeat, Gojira, Behemoth, and Slipknot. Awesome shows. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Squid. I love you. I appreciate you. There's this new venue right beside my house, and Alabama's never had shit, and it's in Huntsville, and it's called the Mars. And like Coheed and Cambria came there. Like,
oh, nice.
And I watched, dude. I saw them because I don't know why, but for some reason I've always loved Coheed and Cambria. Just love them. Every
guitar music,
album, dude. Every damn album. Like, I love this shit. Why do I love everything that they put out?
Because it's guitar music.
Yeah, dude, it's great.
They got riffs.
Yeah, they got hella riffs. That's their whole damn shit, just riffs. So I was real happy. And then Black Label Society came to the Mars. So that was kick ass. Love Zach Wild. And then someone else bass, Les Claypool, Primus.
Ooh, I like Primus a lot.
Yeah, I've seen them 3 times, and they came to the Mars, and I was like, hell yeah, it's freaking awesome. Thank you, Steph. She said Naked Snake is addicting, which is what we're gonna do right. Well, I'm gonna do it. We're gonna do that right now, and then we're gonna log off here. A little bit of a shorter show tonight, but Phil is a high profile man. All right.
Yeah, my dog, she's not happy. She wants me to
I've
bring
seen
her
her this
out.
whole time. She's like, what the hell's going on?
She's pissed. She's like,
I'm saying shit.
give me water.
Please, God. Yeah, my dog. I have a doggy door and like at my pool house, and my dogs just go out there and they just lay out there all day. I have a German Shepherd and a Husky, and they're freaking huge.
Nice.
Annoying as hell. But they're my babies. They're old. They're like, one of them's 9, one of them's 12. They're old bitches, but I love them. Thank you, Steph. I love you, and I love your face. God, every time I see it, I love that face. Thank you so much, Steph. Let's do some Naked Snake, and then we're gonna log off here. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I appreciate you guys. We're 17 likes away from the goal. Disco says I missed your 20. He missed my 20. Let's go up real quick. Make sure we didn't miss it. We're going up to the disco. I don't see a disco. Disco, there is no 20 from you bastard. Wait, up there it is. Wait, hold on. Which bands are Phil's favorite to tour with? I'm sure he loves. Most people just wondering. Have you ever met bands like This Moment? In This Moment, bands adjacent to them. I tend to like new metal, metalcore, or some. So yeah, okay. So yeah, I did miss that super chat. What bands do you like to tour with?
I mean, it's always cool to tour with bands like Killswitch, Unearth, because they're from like our hometown. You know, they're from our area, so it's touring with dudes that we've known for ages and we've been friends with for ages. And you know, I do know that I've met the guys in This Moment. You know, we've toured with them. You know, so they're great people too. They're nice.
Hell yeah! All right. So in honor of Phil Labonte, we'll start up the music. We're gonna do this shit. Then we're gonna log off here. Everybody, I want you guys to like the show. Give Phil some love. And let's get the hell on it, doggone it. I appreciate you guys so much. Appreciate Phil Labonte, my childhood. Well, I should say teenage. That sounds weird. Teenage hero. Appreciate you, Phil, so much. Freaking awesome. And if you come to Alabama or Atlanta, you best let me know.
Oh, Atlanta, all right.
Because I'm like 3 hours away. I can drive that shit. Sick. Hell yeah. So, thank you, Phil. I appreciate you. And thank you, everybody in the chat, giving love to the Phil today. Hell yeah. Had nearly 800 people in here the whole night. I appreciate you guys. Awesome. Yes, Howard is not with the Kill Switch, but he does tour with them sometimes. So hell yeah. Hell yeah. And one day I will see him and love him because I've been meaning to do that for a long time. So get on it, doggone it, and rip my headset off, put my bandana on. We're gonna let it roll. 2 seconds, boys.
Now he can't hear me, chat. Now we can talk smack.
Tell him where to follow you, Phil.
You can follow me on Twitter. I'm Phil That Remains on Twitter. It's mostly politics there. If you want to follow me for not politics, you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Phil That Remains Official on Instagram. All That Remains is the band. We're available. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube, all the places where you go to stream music, you know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
In honor of Phil Labonte.
Look at those traps.
Naked Snakes arrive, son. Hell yeah. Get on it, doggone it, everybody. We're going to sing this one real quick. Cry. It's the way I fly to you. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Phil. Thank you all the $1 stripper monies. Holy Ozone. Monkey Man. Steph. With the face. Oh my gosh. And here it is. We got it right here. There it is. Amazing.
It is amazing.
170th or 171st Naked Snake in a row. Somebody correct me in chat. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are goated. We got 130 from Fight Milk, which I will do on the next show if we happen to make it in the last 5 seconds.
Milk.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man, it like gives me. It used to be fine, but now I think I'm lactose intolerant all of a sudden.
I'm not surprised,
dude. It like wrecks my ass. Now I'm like lay in bed shaking and shit and sweating. I'm like, wow, what's this happening? Thank you. Noah Sanders says you should check out 8-Bit Big Band. They're fantastic. Thank you. Go back up. Holy Ozo, my boy. I love you, dude. Jax with a €5 boy says, hey, Phil, quick question. Will you ever do like high res releases of your work? CD quality is good, but the higher quality is really nice.
I don't know. I mean, maybe we might do that on like upcoming releases. I'm not sure if we'll do older stuff. If we do re-records of the records, which we might do, possibly. So I don't know, but maybe. I can't answer you for sure.
Hell yeah. And also, if you ever need a random guitarist for like 2 shows, I can learn some shit. I'm telling you. All right. Telling you what, this is just throwing this out there, Phil.
Well, if you've been playing since you're 12, you should be good enough.
Oh yeah, I can play all that remains. Yeah, dude, all day. Now all these little 2 goated though. There's like some shit. I'm like, I don't. But
you can play rhythm. You can play mic stuff.
Definitely. Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's for damn sure. What's up? That's for damn sure. There's a few ollie runs that are brutal, but like. In the solo sections, but yeah, dude, I rhythm all day for sure. That's easy. Rock on, boys. Thank you guys so much for getting us to Neck and Snake. Thank you guys for tuning in to see Phil Labonte, one of my goats, one of the best damn bands, metalcore, easily best metalcore band.
Thank you, man.
Of the when he teamed up with when it was Phil Switch and Gage, I was like, this is the greatest shit that's ever happened. It's like 2 pieces of like my favorite shit. So hell yeah. Get on it, doggone it. I appreciate you guys so much. Like the stream on the way out. Make sure you share it with your boys. Share it with your friends. Go follow Phil Labonte on Twitter. Get on it, doggone it. And everywhere else that you can follow my man. I appreciate you guys. We're logging off here. Thank you guys so much again for coming to the CAMELCAST, and I'll see you guys Saturday. Don't be late. Damn you bitches. Don't be late. It's going to be a good show. Hell yeah. Say bye, Phil.
Bye, Phil.